Good morning, everybody. Today's video will be about what our plans are for our Phase 3 landscaping project. Just a quick recap. In Phase 1, so we moved into this new house in January 2024. That spring, summer, we completed Phase 1. And this was a new build. I mean, all of this was dirt. It was mud. There wasn't much around. It was like a blank slate. And I'll link to the video about Phase 1 and Phase 2. I'll include links in the description below. And for Phase 1, our main focus was getting this that garden area at the back over here, that whole area, get the raised beds to start food production. And we did a few other things as part of that project, mainly having a path installed from that area back along the south side of the house to get to the front. More of a utilitarian path, and I'll get to that in a second, as part of Phase 3. But that was the main focus. Phase 2, which we completed this year, was putting in all the grass, doing the dry riverbeds, dealing with some drainage issues that we had, putting in some flower beds, just tidying things up, really. And that was really the bulk of it. So for Phase 3, on our list to do, and I'm starting, this is the north side of our house. This thing here was a dry riverbed. I just added this recently, a couple weeks ago, is a flower bed where I've seeded some lupins, and we'll see how that goes this fall, see if they come up and bloom next year, probably the year after, but we'll play that by ear. But as part of Phase 2 this year, we had put in this dry riverbed to deal with some drainage issues that we were having. And then what we're going to do, what we're hoping to do as part of Phase 3 is extend this, because it kind of ends at a weird spot here. So we're going to extend this and just have it end somewhere logically, like just no French drain. There's a French drain under here, but we don't need to do that. So it'll be more of a decorative thing, just to go along this side here, just to end properly. And we'll probably eventually plant some stuff here. Right now, this is just weeds or naturalization from the forest, which is fine. So that's one thing. Second thing, and I'm just going to keep going around because a lot of it is in the back and on the south side. So the next thing that's going to happen here is, turn this way, this little maintenance strip here. Come closer so you can see what I'm talking about. This little maintenance strip here, which has been really useful. It just makes mowing a lot easier, and we don't have grass up against the house. We're going to extend that all the way around the base of the deck here. Again, mainly for mowing, to make it easier, because this has been a bit of a challenge to mow easily under these footings. So we're probably going to just have that 1 foot maintenance strip, don't mind my shadow, come along this side. The next thing is up against this fence line on this side, my side of the fence. We're going to put 2 flower beds, one here and one on the other side, probably 8 foot deep, because I'm hoping to plant some large shrubs there. And I've got my heart set on dappled willow, far enough from the house plumbing and whatnot, because we know that they're thirsty and they search for water. So right now I'm thinking dappled willow, one on each corner, a Gatsby pink hydrangea, just because I want that. It's an oakleaf hydrangea, and the leaves turn burgundy in the winter and the fall. So I really want that. And Sarah Bernhardt peonies on each side. It's basically going to be the mirror image on both sides. So that's kind of where my head is at right now, but we'll take that as it comes. Meanwhile, we're going to need an 8 foot flower bed on both sides. So there's that. Then in this area, we're going to have like a patio, probably round, because our plan is to have maybe 4 Adirondack chairs with a fire pit in the middle, a wood burning fire pit in this area. I don't really know where it's going to go, but somewhere in this vicinity. It'll be round, and there will be a path from that area to the existing path. And we'll get to the path in a second. So that's going to be really nice. That's probably maybe the biggest task, I would think, of Phase 3, is to get this thing organized. And then around that circular patio, fire pit area, we're going to have a border all the way around for flowers, flower beds, 2-3 feet maybe. And let me come all the way up to the fence so you can see how much space we have to work with here. Actually, quite a large area. So from the fence line, from the fence to the bottom of the deck is 37.5 feet. So there's quite a bit of room here for us to play with. So that's the plan for this. And then the existing path, and we don't know what the path is going to look like from here connecting to that new area that we're planning. And if we have to reconfigure this to veer off or fork out this way, TBD. We'll have that conversation when we get to it. But that's going to be a really nice area here to just come out and, sit by the fire or just sit outside and enjoy the weather, enjoy the outdoors. All right. Second largest thing is this path. This path was initially, we completed it in phase 1. We've used it so often. I don't know how many times I've walked this path, but we are going to be putting something a little bit more permanent. Right now it's just gravel, tamped down. It's pretty solid and it's functional. It's not the nicest thing in the world. And obviously weeds, can come in and mulch gets dragged over. So we're probably going to put flagstone all along this path, starting from the fence. We won't do anything on that side, but we will do this whole path all the way up to the house, to the driveway. All right, have I covered everything in the back? Yes. So this leads me to this area. Oh, before I go there, let me tell you what our phase 4 is going to be. We are likely going to put a shed here, maybe with like a little bridge to connect it to the path, because there's like a whole empty area. We're planning on taking down some of the dead trees as well. See one that's like leaning. Do some cleanup, flatten this out a little bit, put a pad for a shed, but that's phase 4. We'll get to that. That's not next year, the year after. But that's going to be part of the plan. Yeah, so this whole path will be flagstone. And then we're probably going to leave this empty without plants, but we're probably just going to put some little stepping stones just to get to under the deck to make it accessible. Right now we're walking on the mulch, which is fine, but just to make it a little cleaner, a little tidier. We're probably going to put stepping stones here as well as here, just to get to the faucet. We left room for it. We didn't plant anything here, with knowing that we were going to be moving, walking up and down this area. So we're probably going to just put some stepping stones there, probably flagstone, just to match what the path is going to look like. So that is part of it. And then this whole mulched area. Just in looking at where we live, we're surrounded by trees. There's a lot of forested area around here. Forest fires a couple of years ago, not where we are precisely, but close enough to warrant, to consider some steps to make sure that we're taking the proper precautions. We're probably going to move, this is wood chip mulch. We're probably going to replace this with some form of stone mulch. Realize that this is a lot of mulch, but we're probably going to move it either to the fire pit area, the flower bed around there, or the new flower beds in front of the fence, or even just dump it in the fruit tree area, which is basically mulch, which is the same as this stuff. So that's also going to take place in phase 3. All right, let me keep going. Look at our clover. It's coming in nicely. Happy about that. Phase 4, which is not next year, but the year after, we're going to do the shed, probably over here. We're probably going to put a greenhouse in. Don't know if it's going to be phase 4 or phase 5, like the following year, TBD. But that's eventually going to be probably here, somewhere in this area. We don't want to impact, this is our septic system, and the field is at the far end over there. So we're probably going to put it probably here, like somewhere around there on this side. We'll see. But that's the plan for this space. And then eventually, we're going to obviously need a path that leads to it from this path. And we were looking at this. Because right now, this is our front door. So we come down the stairs. If we wanted to do any work outside, we'd have to go around here and then come down this path. and then come down to where the garden is. Because let me come out a little bit, because this is elevated, right? It's a pretty steep step if you wanted to like jump down from here down to this path. So we're thinking maybe we remove this boulder and put some stairs down. Potentially. Again, this would be part of phase 4. And the reason I say that is because we're likely going to be paving the driveway in this whole area and putting the same flagstone landing that we would use for the path. We do that there, remove this boulder, put some steps down, and then we'd eventually have a path that connects to the greenhouse in some way. But we don't want to do any work up here before they pave the driveway. Just, we don't want them to ruin anything. So we'll probably pave first and then deal with all the connecting area and add more stonework. And then the last thing for phase 4 would be adding, so imagine this is going to be paved. We're going to be adding probably 3 conifers, probably balsam fir. It's one of my favorites in this area and on this area here, just to flank the driveway, and then add rocks as a border on either side of the driveway, just to keep the weeds at bay from the neighboring forested area, and just to keep it tidy, keep it nice and neat and easier to maintain for us to maintain. So phase 3, hopefully next year, or the plan is next year. We're just waiting for quotes and final plans and discussions and whatnot. And that'll be mainly, again, in the back and on the sides. And then that's 2026. And then 2027, we're going to do driveway, front, and that little step, this landing area, and then the step down to the path. Maybe the greenhouse. Maybe that's the following year. We'll have to see how that turns out. But I'm really excited. Things are, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And it's just one of those things, like one step at a time. It'll eventually get to a place where we're just maintaining, right? But it's exciting. It's exciting to plan all these things. I love it. Our containers are doing well. It's so quiet in the morning. Front shrubs are doing well. Except my annuals. My annuals are not doing that great up front. That's okay. All the perennials are doing okay. Anywho, that is it. Obviously, we still have some discussions and, exact placement and materials and all of those details to figure out. But we'll probably do that sometime in the fall, and then schedule the work sometime next spring, summer. You can see how messy it is. Like just us dragging the hose around and walking around, it's a little bit messy. Primarily our fault for not cleaning up after ourselves too. But it'll be good to have something a little more permanent and cleaner. But this path has been a godsend. Like, it's been really great to use this, just to go back and forth from the garden area. And then I'll be really excited to have a nice spot out here just to come out and hang out. Right now we hang out on the deck for the most part. But it'll be fun to have a little circular patio area with the fire pit. Just enjoy our space even a little bit more than we already do. It's a beautiful morning. All right, everybody. If you have any tips, suggestions, ideas, feel free to leave them in the comments. And that's it for today. I'm really excited. Happy gardening, everybody.